Race cars, drag queens, airplanes, it's a blur in Duckburg. My name is Brittany Brody. I am the Disney Princess of Denver Drag, and this is Drag Me to Denver, a series in which we get to know some of the fierce and fabulous drag artists that make up the Denver community. But, as always, before we get started, hit that like button, drop a comment down below, subscribe, and click that bell to be notified for when new episodes drop right here on the channel. My guest today is August Celestial.
Hi, hello.
Welcome to the channel, August.
Thank you for having me.
Are you excited?
I am titillated and feeling so many vibrations throughout my body, so I'm ready.
Yeah? Which, I've got the DuckTales dress. Which nephew are you representing? Are you Huey, Dewey, Louie? What vibe you got going on today?
I am repping my home state of Indiana. I was where I started drag and where I kind of learned everything that I know today. So I felt like, who's your homo? It's me.
You are.
It's me.
It's you. You're the problem. It's you.
Finally.
Yes. I am so excited for our viewers to get to know you. And the one question I always start out by asking every single person who comes on here is, in your own words, how would you describe your style of drag?
August Celestial is the space dyke of Denver.
Oh.
So I am an eclectic mix of theater, clownfoonery, but also I like to show off my ass and body, and I get comments when I don't. And so I feel like I have to maintain that part of my brand. So you might see a little as we go throughout our show today. And so I'm a little bit of...
Do you have a reveal in store for us?
Maybe.
You'll just have to stay tuned. So, out of curiosity, why August Celestial and not, September Moonchild? What is the genesis of your name?
So, when I first started doing drag, I was doing a turnabout show at my home bar, and I was the backstage manager, and I had never thought about what my drag name would be. I had not considered any of this, and so I ended up going to the cesspool of our time, which is Facebook, and was like, people, I need recommendations, I need things. And one of my friends was like, April showers, because my birthday's in April, and I thought that was stupid. Yeah, and so I did a quick Rolodex of the months I was aware of, and found the name August, and I was really drawn to it. And then, this is gonna nerd me out a little bit, there is a game, World of Warcraft, where in a expansion of that game, there is a group of characters called the August Celestials.
Ooh.
And so I became August Celestial.
Are you a paladin? Are you a wizard? What kind of class are you in World of Warcraft?
My first ever character was a gnome mage named Wiz.
You are the Wiz.
I was the Wiz.
Michael Jackson went to see you.
If I only had a brain.
You do a lot of charity work, and one of the big themes that we're going to talk about is community and giving back.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing we'll start out with is you do a lot of work with the Center.
I do.
So for those at home who don't know, what is the Center and how's this all been going on?
So the Center on Colfax is the organization that puts on Denver Pride. I am currently the manager of Elder and Disability Services.
Okay.
And so I help plan and facilitate our holistic programming for our older adult population and crowd, as well as I was hired on to start up our disability programming for queer people with disabilities. And so I've been there for about 2.5 years, and it's been a really wonderful experience getting to connect with the community and really just get to hear from them about all of their life experiences, because they love to share them. And sometimes it's a trauma dump, and you don't expect it, and you just have to kind of be like, oh, so that happened to you.
Yeah. That's what this show is here for. Feel free to trauma dump
dumping.
all you
Oh
want.
my God,
Yeah.
finally.
Another thing that you did, even before you were doing drag, you also worked at a summer camp helping out disabled and the youth of our country.
Yes.
The youth of our nation. What would you say was the most challenging part of that, and what would you say was the most rewarding part of getting to work with kids in that kind of camp?
Challenging was that you only had a week with each set of kids, and so it was a summer-long camp, but each week was designated for a different population. So one week we had kids who were on the spectrum, another was like for physical disability on like a certain range and scale, and so you only had really a week to like get to know these kids, really get to work with them. Even though for that short amount of time, the impact was really quite profound because we were living with these kids in the cabins for the entire week. And I would say the most rewarding part was getting to see the successes and be a part of them because there was a lot of the kids that were coming in who had these perceptions about what they could and could not do, and that what we got to do was to be like, no, you don't get to come in here and limit yourself. You get to have this space to truly test what your limits are and truly to experience new things. And so getting to do that was a really phenomenal part of that position. And getting slapped, punched, kicked, rolled over with wheelchairs, spat on, all kinds of fun things.
Wow. You sound like quite the masochist. Which is an interesting transition into our next question because you also do a lot of work with the leather community.
I do.
So how did you get involved in the leather community and what does leather mean to you?
I got involved just primarily by meeting people and like starting to connect with people in the leather community. Our current Mr. Colorado Leather, Mr. Hunter Nelson, is a good friend of mine, and so I was really exposed to it through meeting these people and getting to learn about their perspectives on leather and sort of where it fell within their own lives and experiences. What was the follow-up question?
What does leather mean to you?
What does leather mean to me? Leather is a very fascinating thing because it has existed in the cultural zeitgeist of queer community for, I would say, since the 1950s, 1940s in like a real significant way. And so when you are putting on a piece of leather, you are kind of donning a sort of historical aspect of this queer community that we all share. And so getting to decide what that means for myself, like I've really found that I enjoy painting old leather pieces because I love finding a way to like bring it into the more, into what I want to represent, but also finding that way to connect towards like, I have leather pieces from people who gave them to me who owned them in the 80s, this one gentleman who really got into these intense, like very intense kink situations because he was afraid to have actual sex at the time. And so he like handed down this belt and these like cuffs and these like collar and all this stuff. It's like I used to get like beat, whipped, and shit on while wearing this, and now it is yours. And I was like, I get to carry on that legacy, and that's really beautiful.
I love the historic representation that you bring to it. I myself am a latex person, so generally as latex versus leather, we should be arch enemies, but we have a lot of common ground.
We do.
And a lot of latex from the 80s would not still be around now because it rots and it's just gone.
Yeah.
So that's one huge thing that you have when it comes to leather, and leather care is just a whole other subculture with like blacking and all of that too.
It is, for sure.
And speaking of leather, you have many routines that you do, but a favorite routine of mine involves leather. I think you already know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
It's the George Michael Father Figures routine, where you start out very like conservative, button up, and then by the end you're just like harness full leather man. What is the genesis of that routine? How did you come up with it?
I adore George Michael as an artist, and I was trying to find a way to like bring some of this more masculine energy into my drag. And so what that number really came across as for me was I wanted to tell the story of this individual who had a lover who died in the 80s of AIDS, and kind of like having this moment of recollection and like celebration of the real like joy of gay and queer sex, and like that love that like is really developed through it. And so like, fuck yeah, I'll be your father figure. I'll be your preacher. I'll be on my knees. I'll be standing up. You know, there's lots of options. And it really kind of, and that's where I wanted to paint the leather gold and like really like have that part shine through. And so it became this sort of like love letter to sort of all the people who had passed tragically to AIDS.
That's a lot more powerful when you put it in that context.
Well, it's like I came out with a red shirt and like a button, and like on the back of the jacket's got this silence equal death embroidered. This is a great time for a shirt change. It seemed like a culmination of my entire drag career to like present that on stage.
And it comes across as such, totally.
Thank you.
And I know George Michael means a lot to you as well. Didn't you at some point get like a doll or something? George Michael? What happened with that? What was the story?
So it was my birthday this year, and I was at Cheeseman Park, and the lovely Pat Grump was getting me the
Your
photos.
birthday in April, not August.
Yes, my actual birthday, April 10th. But I was getting this photo shoot done by a local photographer, and I had made this set list of music that I wanted to play on the way to the photo shoot, and it happened to include George Michael music. And so I'm literally sitting in a tree at Cheeseman Park getting pictures taken, and this woman walks up to me, and Pat, and was like, I heard this George Michael music, and I had to come see this because, and she pulls out a hand-knitted George Michael doll out of her bag.
Crazy.
And is like, I have this doll with me that is a part of this like international fundraiser that travels all over the country and like all across the world at times to like provide fundraising, and I would love to get your picture with it. And so we were gagged. I will absolutely. And so I got pictures with it, and then later on, I believe at the end of them, at a show that I was doing at Hamburger Mary's, she came to that show, brought the doll, and I got a picture of it in drag as well.
Yeah.
And so it was just like this crazy, literally on my birthday at Cheeseman Park, somehow our paths crossed, and she had this George Michael doll, and it was just, it was like...
It was fate. It was meant to be.
I was like, okay, universe, I get it, like, loud and clear, you know?
This is the part of the episode where we play a game. And in this game, as I pull up my handy-dandy cheat sheet, so this game is inspired by your drag routine, father figures. I went through and found a list online of the top 10 most popular cartoon dads. I want you to tell me if you would smash, if you would pass, and why.
If it's the dad from Inside Out, smash all the way.
Spoiler alert, they are not one of the top 10 most popular cartoon dads.
I would have thought.
We're actually going to go in order from the most popular, from number 1 to 10, or do you want to go from like 10 to 1? It's up to you.
Surprise me.
Wow, okay. So let's go from number 1.
Okay.
Get the obvious one out of the way. Are you ready to play?
I'm ready to play.
Are you excited?
I'm titillated.
According to the internet, the number 1 most popular cartoon dad is Homer Simpson. Would you smash, pass, or what are your erotic thoughts on Homer Simpson?
You know what? I would smash because in the early seasons, he treats Marge so well.
Okay.
And like it is such like a flip on that like masculinity sort of like way of thinking. I haven't seen a lot of the recent seasons, but I just remember there's some like distinct moments in the early seasons where you're like, oh, this man's a really good father. He's just kind of an airhead and an asshole sometimes. So, you know, smash.
Smash. 1 point for smash. Good job, Homer Simpson. The number 2 most popular cartoon dad is Fred Flintstone. Would you smash that, pass that, and why?
I would probably pass on Fred Flintstone. He's got that Flintstone dick. You have to use your feet to make it work.
You don't want his fruit pebbles?
No.
Maybe get them cocoa pebbles? Oh, them pebbles. All right.
Pass.
So you're about 50-50 so far.
Yeah.
The number 3 is Peter Griffin.
Pass.
Pass. Immediate pass. Why?
I hate that show.
But August, you remember that time we did the interview? Cut to a montage of us doing an interview.
Family Guy is written by manatees? Of course. It all makes sense now.
The next one is Bob Belcher from Bob's Burgers.
Oh, smash all the way.
Smash is the mustache.
It's the mustache. He's gonna smell like burgers at all times.
Ooh.
And like again, you see how he treats
Linda. Do you
Linda.
have a burger finger?
No. But it could be after we're done.
That's a good answer. I think that's the one you're most excited about.
Yeah, I would smash. I mean, I was watching Bob's Burgers today, and it's like, again, loves Linda so much.
Also a good dad.
Yeah, also a really good dad. So I'm like, I'm into that. So smash.
Number 5, George Jetson.
Trying to remember what I know about him. I mean, I would say pass. I feel like he's a little too uptight. I feel like it would be.
But he's from the future.
Yeah, but like.
So he's from an uptight future.
Yeah, I feel like. I mean, it's like the future, but they're trying to be the 50s, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. Pass.
Our next one is Hank Hill.
I have not seen much of the show, but I feel like it's kind of in the same vein as like Homer Simpson, where it's like, it's kind of like so much of a parody that, he's actually kind of a good person. Bobber. So I would say I would smash Hank Hill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, our next one is Mufasa from The Lion King. Would you smash that lionessie or pass?
First of all, R.I.P. James Earl Jones. He passed recently.
No.
It's sad.
I feel like this is not the serious way to honor that man's legacy.
No, but we're going to do it anyway. And because he passed recently, I'm going to be respectful and just say we're going to pass and let him rest. Let him rest in peace.
Okay. Very fair. It is from Townsville, Professor Utonium.
Oh, yeah, I would smash. I mean, he's a professor.
He's got sugar, spice, and everything nice.
You don't know what else he's cooking up in that lab. He's got materials. He can make life.
That chemical XXX.
So I'm saying he's probably like very secretly kinky. I'm imagining like him and him are very much together in that way. Like I imagine they had like a dom sub relationship early on.
I could see that.
And so I'm just thinking he would be a lot of fun. So I'm gonna say smash. Yeah.
Okay.
And he's good with kids.
Number 9 is also good with kids. It's Mr. Incredible.
Oh. Yeah, smash. I mean, he could pick me up and throw me around. So anyone that could really have that kind of, yeah. We're going to smash.
You want that super strength.
Yeah.
Because you're kinky. We get it, August. God. And number 10 is Bandit from Bluey.
Pass, because I have never seen Bluey.
I haven't seen Bluey either, but August, you're going to the airport today.
I am.
Bingo, you get to go to the airport tomorrow.
Airport? I'm not going to the airport.
Yeah, you are.
You're in a new outfit.
I am. This is
like your Grammy Awards, your Oscars. So many outfit changes.
I had a lot of shirts that I wanted to wear that like represented my drag journey, and so I couldn't decide on one, so I wanted to wear them all.
Yeah. Speaking of your drag journey, all the way back in April 2023, you did So You Think You Can Drag.
I did.
And then you came back for All Stars.
Yep.
So out of all of the cycles you did, what was your favorite challenge?
What I will say, after the 2 challenges after I won, when I came back to judge, the first one after I won was Celestial Bodies. And then it was musical theater. And I was like, what the fuck? Betty. But of the challenges I got to do, I would say my favorite one was my camp performance, because I got to make this dress that was entirely comprised of t-shirts that I got while working at Bradford Woods, which was the summer camp. And it was, that one over there. And so, that one was really special to me because it wasn't a traditional number. I stand up and I did this monologue where I fully recited a Shel Silverstein poem, and then also like sang a small little like camp song that was very special. And so it was a very like vulnerable moment for me on stage to get to present that. But also, to me, camp is about the intersection of identities and how they expose something new about the topic that you are discussing. And so for me, it was getting to intersect my drag and my like professional careers and lives, and getting to expose myself to the audience like that, so that they could have a little bit more deeper understanding about where I'm coming from and why I do what I do.
I am a Disney bitch.
Okay.
Clearly in my DuckTales dress here.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to talk about Disney a little bit.
Okay.
Going back to leather,
Mm-hmm.
what Disney princess do you think is most into leather?
Belle.
Why?
I mean, they know.
Oh.
Our audience knows. It's Belle.
Well, I believe the correct answer, she's not in canon a princess anymore because now she's a queen, would technically be Anna. Because in Frozen, Anna has the line to Kristoff that she prefers him in leather.
That's true.
And all the parents got riled up about it. Insert clip right here.
Kristoff! Aw, did you boys get all dressed up for me?
It was Sven's idea.
1 hour. You get this for 1 hour.
That's okay. I prefer you in leather anyway.
I'm shocked you can last an hour. That was brutal.
Yep. I could see Anna being in leather, but I just feel like Belle, she has got that like, brainy sort of like, I have this sort of upper kind of stiffness to me a little bit into this, but I feel like she would just get so into whipping that man.
Went from leather clothing straight to whipping.
Oh, yeah.
0 to 100.
Yeah.
Another Disney thing, because I like to do my research before I go talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
In 2015,
Oh, Lord.
even before you did drag,
Uh-huh.
on Facebook you posted this picture. Tell me about it.
So that was in my senior year finite class.
Okay.
And I had a group of friends that we just started randomly drawing memes and like drawing characters, and I got really
You
into
were like
it.
Maleficent.
Maleficent is my bitch. Okay?
Okay.
Maleficent is my all-time favorite Disney character. Hands down.
So you drew that picture.
I drew that picture.
I assumed one of the kids at summer camp drew that picture for you.
I wasn't at camp yet.
So this was even before you worked at the camp.
This
Okay.
was just me, senior of high school.
A young Indiana senior in high school. See, I went in the Wayback Machine on you.
You did. That, yeah. Notice how the eyes aren't looking in the same direction.
You had the quotes. You had the movie quotes.
I
behind
did.
it, too.
Maleficent is my bitch. She is 100% my favorite Disney character.
So you started doing drag
Mhm.
in 2017.
Yes, I did.
You moved to Denver in 2021.
Yeah.
What drag advice would 2024 August give to 2017 August? That's a lot of dates.
Oh, Lord. I feel like when I first started, I was fortunate that the community, Oriana Perron, a fabulous Indiana drag queen who was one of my primary mentors, there was a high focus on stupidity, doing what you wanted, and allowing people to live in this sort of like gray area of drag, of femininity, masculinity, getting to kind of portray whatever I really wanted. My advice to the younger me would just be that you know so much more than you think you do, and just
Believe in the ball. Throw yourself.
Believe in it, yeah. And also, don't twist your hair up so much; it's gonna start falling out.
It has been such a blast getting to know you more. We learned a lot about community, giving back, as well as all of the buffoonery that you've brought here.
Yeah.
What shows do you have coming up? Is there anything you want to promote?
I will be performing at Denver Suite at the end of the month, Saturday the 26th, for the Starlight Variety Show with Fupa and Star Kirkland. And so I will be there. Real quickly, before I sign off, there was one part of Indiana I wanted to share with you all a little bit, which is just a little bit about, I think, our general queer history as a nation. Back in 2018, there was a high school senior out of Columbus, Indiana, who decided to put on Columbus, Indiana's first ever Pride. as her senior
Yes.
project. She was like, oh, it's going to be a couple booths, maybe a couple hundred people, and whatever. It turned into this massive event where thousands of people were saying they were going to come. National media news figures were going to come, and it was this thing that kind of blew up to this massive scale because Columbus, Indiana is where Mike Pence is from. So it became Mike Pence's hometown's first ever Pride. And I was one of the performers they reached out to. I won't put it on, but I will pull the shirt out. The back door, my home bar. One of the OG shirts. But they reached out to the back door, and I was one of the entertainers that was fortunate enough to get to go over and perform for that group of thousands of queer people in little Columbus, Indiana streets. It was really phenomenal to get to experience.
It sounds phenomenal. That is so much work to organize a Pride.
Yeah.
And I can't even imagine doing that amount of work and being in high school. It's like, this is my senior project. That's phenomenal.
It was amazing. And so I just wanted to share that with your audience.
Thank you so much for sharing.
There is
a little bit of history.
Little bit of history. Columbus, Indiana, Mike Pence's hometown, is definitely, it's had its second, third, and fourth, I think, by this point. And so there's, don't discount Indiana. There's a lot of great queer things happening out there. And so make sure to support your rural queers as well.
Yeah, and if you don't have something, you can find the resources, talk to people, and just build it yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
August, once again, it has been such a pleasure. Where can our audience find you on social media?
They can find me only on the Instagrams. It's
Just
the only one I have.
Okay.
It's August Celestial, August like the month, period, Celestial like the body. That's all. You can put an @ in there somewhere if you want, probably at the beginning.
Not in the middle.
Nope, at the beginning.
Or the end. All right.
You won't
That's
find
at
me.
August Celestial on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
You have been such a pleasure to have on the show. As always, if you like what you see, drop a like. It helps out the algorithm. If you don't like what you see, still drop a like anyways because it helps support the channel. Drop a comment down below, subscribe, and click that bell to be notified for when new episodes drop right here on the channel. My name is Brittany Brody. This has been Drag Me to Denver. Take care.
Bye.